For the people at home that don't know anything about you and aren't familiar with your outstanding career, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Kanorris Davis, is what everybody know that. But I'm the country boy, born and raised in Perry, Georgia. Never went anywhere other than my hometown before I started playing football. Once I started playing football, I started getting a little attention, and some schools came in and offered me scholarships, and then they came to the school, seen me. I guess they thought I wasn't big enough or wasn't gonna make it grade wise, so a lot of them ended up pulling scholarships, taking them away, not showing me any more attentions. Didn't even want me to come on visits anymore. So on my end of my junior year, the beginning of my senior year, Troy University. They came in, they seen me, they told the coach they liked me. They told me to send in some film, they sent in some film. They said they'll take me, they offered me my first scholarship, my senior year. Then, after Troy offered me a scholarship, I had Florida State come in, and it was like, if you can hold out on signing day, then, we're going to see if this guy going to sign. If he don't, then we'll have a scholarship available for you. So I was like, Troy was there from the get-go, so I was like, I'm going to go on here with Troy. And then, I went up there, so we started summer training and everything. Then they pulled me to the side after like a week of practice. They pulled me to the side and they was like, Mr. Davis, we're going to have to, tell you that you're not eligible right now. Got a core credits. They just had changed the core credits that year. You needed 16. Before that, you needed 14. So I had 14, but they told me, being in that situation, I could either go home or pay for school. They said a lot of people called me and said you need to stay up there. Don't never come back home. If you come back home, it's going to be harder to get back into college. So I like, okay, I'll stick it out. So I stuck it out, stayed around up there. I had to take classes. I was busting my butt studying and not being eligible, I had to work out on my own, and I had to, be accountable for my own classwork, what I ate, where I stayed. So, I ended up getting up with some of the former players, a player named Barry Woods, who had played for Troy for 2 years. He was a great player, and he had played for Atlanta for like the preseason of the year he came out. So, he took me under his wing, and he made me feel like I was home, and he made me feel comfortable. And then, that following year, after I had passed my 30 hours, they said, you ready to play? You can play. It was like, you did it. Ever since then, I started playing, and I never looked back. And, it got me here today. Been very successful. Been, just busting my butt and just been waiting for the opportunity. And, the opportunity here. Everything that I don't put in front of me, I had to do it by showing people what I can do. Because a lot of people doubted me, and, being the mindset that I was in, being the person that I am, anybody that doubts me, the only thing that you can do is show them they're wrong.
I noticed that that you're not as big as some of those big defensive linemen out there, and that are 6'4" and way over 300 pounds, and my children are right about your size too. And I always asked them how they felt coming up against some of these defensive linemen, and what they did about that, and how they were encouraged to, when these guys had the obvious advantage, how they turned it around to their advantage. And you have successfully done that, and I wanted to know if you had any words on that as well.
The words I have on that is, if somebody tell you you're too small, and you see a guy on the other side of you bigger than you, the best thing to do is, just don't take it to heart, because they only saying that because maybe you haven't proved anything to them yet. But somebody call how they say a little giant, like you small but you make a big impact. So I mean, you small. Once you don't came to that conclusion that you ain't gonna grow no more, you just gotta make the best out of what you have. And if the Lord made you small, but He gave you all the God gifted talent He can give you, then show it. Like, don't be scared. Don't let them telling you that you're too small take away from your drive. Because that only feed to me. When somebody say I'm too small, I'm gonna show them I can do a job better than somebody who's 2 times bigger than me. Because I have that heart and I have that fight. I know a lot of people don't heard it ain't the size of the dog, it's the size of the fight in the dog. And, I got a lot of fight in me, and, I ain't going to let nobody tell me I'm too small for anything.
Well, amen to that. Let's go back a little bit and talk about your determination to working so hard to regain your eligibility, and how did that help you grow, and what did that teach you during that time?
It made me more responsible, and I had more time to get connected with the schoolwork, with the teachers and everything, because I had more time to actually stay around and talk to them without having to go to practice or anything. So when the teachers would be like, "Oh, if you need help," I didn't have no excuse like, "Oh, I got practice." I was like, "Well, I can't play this year, and I need all the help I can get." So basically, I just went around and. I got the feel of it, and, I did the same thing every day. I wake up, go to class, I show up early, talk to the teacher, get to know the teacher, side in the front. Even before I even knew that it was a rule you had to sit in the front, I'm always sit in the front. I sat in the front, showed up every day, even if the teacher said you don't have to come if you don't want. I came, I was disciplined, and it just taught me a lot that, all you have to do is, like in college, all you have to do is show up. And pay attention, and you show up and pay attention, even if you didn't study the night before, the test gonna be on what you heard. They ain't trying to fool you or try to throw you in the BS or anything, but they're gonna teach you, what I'm saying? They're saying most of the stuff you ain't even gonna need to know anyway. So, basically I just put in my head that I wanted to play football, and I didn't want to leave the university because I had done became, they had done became my second home, and I had done made so many friends by the time they had done told me this. So what I'm saying, I want to play here, and this is why I want to play. And if they giving me this opportunity to help me out, then I need to stick around because you don't know how good you could have had. Say if I would have signed with somebody else, ain't no telling why I would have ended up being in the situation that I was in, because most of the people. Most of them schools, they only want you if you're available. If you can't help them, then they ain't gonna help you. But they helped me, stuck a leg out for me. I came through on it, and basically it just showed me that once something taken away from you and you have to go a whole nother road, you still gonna get there, but it's gonna take you longer. But for a second, when I was doing the classes, I doubted myself. For probably 2 or 3 days, I doubted myself. I would call and coach saying, "Man, I can't do that. I can't do this, man." I said, "I'm coming. I'm coming back home." And he told me just stick it out. Everything gonna brighten up for you. And, I just tucked my head. Kept going. And then I never looked back. They say I just look forward and just woke up every day and showed a positive attitude and just went to class with a smile on my face, and it touched the hearts of a lot of people. And some of them say that I'm the biggest success story that Troy ever had. Not because of football, but because of what I had to go through when I first got there. So that determined me, and I had so many people pushing me to I felt like if I would have let myself down, I would have let them down as well. So I didn't even consider letting them down or nobody down. So I just did what I had to do, and it put me in this situation today.
Well, I have to agree with them. Growing up, did you always want to play football? Was that something that you always wanted to do? And who were your idols in the sport growing up?
I know this is gonna sound crazy. I ain't never had no idols. I've never really sat down and watched a full game of football or any sport ever in my life. I never had the intention to, or never wanted to. I just can't. Sometimes I feel if I'm watching football, I want to be out there playing. But before I started playing football, which I ain't started playing until the 8th grade, I never thought about it. I only played football in the yard, 2-hand touch. Never played a day in my life. Never knew what it was. I had family members saying, "Man, you're not gonna play football. All that speed, you out here running around crazy." You know what I'm saying? I ain't never do none of that. I just played, jumped on trampolines, raced motorcycles. I'm talking about the little motorcycle we don't fixed up and put it on the back of something, and you pull it with a chain or something. Jumping out of trees, dirt rock fights, running through cornfields, running through, wheat fields, and just being bad. I ain't never thought about playing those sports. They ain't never crossed my mind. You could ask me, "Oh, this all-time great?" You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Who is that?" People looking at me like, "Are you from Earth?" You know what I'm saying? So I ain't never really considered playing any sports. I didn't like any, not that I didn't like any sports. It's just I never, my parents were they old, and they didn't ever pressure me to do nothing. They didn't ever take me out to the little league, but they was always working. So they didn't have time for any of that. So I just had to just play sports in the yard like kickball, basketball, football, frisbee, all that kind of stuff.
Talking about your parents, tell us some more about your family, and even though they were older, tell us about some of the values they instilled in you and the other family members.
Well, the values, they taught me to, no matter what you got, make the best of it. Because we ain't always had nothing, and right now, we still struggling a little bit. I wouldn't say struggling to a point where we need help. You just saying living paycheck to paycheck. So, they taught me to appreciate everything you get, thank people for what you get, show class, and just show people that you know that they're helping you, and you know that they're paying attention, and you know that they're in your life, and just like I said, make the best of your life, and just keep on moving. Somebody tell you no, then just keep on going, and never jeopardize anything for something that's gonna be there just temporarily. You know what I'm saying? And they taught me the value of a dollar, and they taught me, how to keep working. Hard workers. They've been working all their life, so just keep on going.
Very good parents. Who were some of the other mentors in your life besides your parents?
Besides my parents, my sister, my older sister, Demetrius Harris. Like she's a big influence. She's in there right now, sitting down. She carried me a long way. We born in the same month. She's 11 years older than me, but my birthday is 11 days before hers. Mine's on the 21st, hers on the 31st. Well, 10 days. So, she knows me. Like, our attitudes are the same, but we can put up with each other. A lot of people, if they be around my attitude, sometimes everybody ain't in the good mood all the time. So, sometimes people can't put up with me, and sometimes I just don't want to put up with people. So I be, cast off for long just until, I can get over that spell. But she's been a great mentor to me. And, my oldest brother, one of my oldest brothers, he stays up in Atlanta. He'll send me Bible strips from time to time. And, I've had people that I've encountered with in college that send me Bible strips and everything. And, they just send me things like at the right moment, and you just touch you in the right way, and you just feel good, and it kind of mentor you through life and then struggles you go through.
So tell us a little bit about coaching Kanorris in high school. What kind of player was he?
Well, I actually came here to Perry for the second time, Kanorris' 10th grade year. And strangely, I was a defensive line coach, and Kanorris played down tackle for us, basically what we call a two technique, kind of like a nose position. And he weighed about 175 pounds, and really he was out of position, but he was tremendously quick off the ball, and people had a very, very hard time blocking him. And because of his quickness and his strength, he was able to really lead the team in tackles his sophomore, junior, and senior year. Now, his sophomore and junior year, he played down tackle. His senior year, he moved to linebacker, and it was very easy to coach Kanorris, to be honest with you. His motor is always running, one of our coaching axioms, I guess you'd say. He's one of those 100%ers. He never took a play off. In fact, one of the strange things, he played so hard sometimes that he would actually dehydrate himself. His sophomore year against Washington County, he was playing against some very, very, very large offensive linemen at about 175 pounds, and at halftime we had to take him out of the game because he was gassed. He was completely out, dehydrated. Trainer wouldn't let him go back.
Do you have any other moments that you particularly recall that stand out? I know that's kind of hard. You can mention several if you like.
There's 100 Kanorris stories, to be honest with you. A lot of them came at practice, to be honest with you. But, he's one of those special players that you really don't have to coach him a whole lot. You just put him on the field and let him go. Sometimes if you coach him too much, you mess him up. And he's an intelligent football player, but at the same time, his greatest attribute is his ability to get to the ball. And to be honest with you, when he gets to the ball, it's when he gets there, he's trying to hurt somebody. And that's the greatest thing. You didn't have to teach him how to hit. You didn't have to teach him how to lock up. You didn't have to teach him what to do at the point of contact. He was going to do that. He brought that to us. So that was a tremendous aspect. But there's always, my first year here, we had an offensive lineman, probably 60, 70 pounds larger than Kanorris, and we were doing what we call the Oklahoma drill, one-on-one. And Kanorris wasn't quite ready, and the offensive lineman fired off the ball and hit Kanorris, and he got up and started pointing at him, and the funny thing, Kanorris, no, get back down. And at that time, there wasn't a fence around our practice field, and we said hut, they moved, and Kanorris took this guy and took him, I guarantee you, 15, 20 yards into the woods, and it was amazing. So there are a lot of Kanorris moments. Very unique individual.
I was watching on YouTube, and I saw where you were jumping over your teammates. And then I saw where you jumped up on this bar.
Yeah.
But what made you think that you could ever jump that far?
Well, man, jumping and running, those are I'm great at that. Like, I can run fast and I can jump high. And my coach was like Sports Center wanted to do something unique. Like, they was trying to go around and do something new, like find the top 10 freaks of nature. And, he was like, anybody can run fast. Mm-hmm. Anybody can lift a lot of weights.
Yeah, because you're fast too.
Yeah, they said anybody can lift a lot of weights. But he was like, your specialty is going to be jumping. And he was like, we want to show them that you can jump. And I was like, all right, what you want me to do? So whatever he wanted me to do, I did. So, man, this was out the days we don't squat it. Like, we maxing out at squats.
Oh, wow.
I just had got 6'10" off my back. And, we had did hang cleans and stuff, so my leg dead. So I'm like, man, I can't do that. He's like, yes you can. He's like, you can jump, so stop doubting yourself. So we at first, it started off just, we was in there just messing around. I jumped on something, we put it up to probably somebody that's probably 6'3" hips, and I jumped on top of it. And he was like, raise it. And then he was like, all right, we finna camcord this. I'm like, why you ain't camcord all the other ones I was making? And then he was like, yeah, we gonna get that. So by the time I jumped on that, and then he was like, all right, now we finna jump over, the kicker's head. And I was like, all right. And, at the moment, he was the tallest person we had around.
Oh, wow.
So,
How tall was he?
He was like 6'2".
Oh, man.
And, I just got a little running start and just leaped over his head. And, I ended up being the top 5 freak of nature out of the top 10.
Wow. A freak of nature.
Yeah.
I wonder what you could have jumped over if you had been rested.
Hey, I felt like that made me jump higher because I was doubting myself because my legs were dead, and I just gave it all and just jumped.
Now that the draft has started and you're going to play pro football, can you tell us a little bit about how this process works?
Well, the process is kind of crazy. The week before you draft, you'll have you'll be able to, interact with a bunch of NFL scouts, a bunch of NFL teams, and they'll come talk to you, work you out if they want to work you out. They try to get to know everything about you. They want to know your driver's license number. They want to know your medical deal. They want to know what type of person you are, what your family is like. Do you have a family? They ask you a bunch of personal questions because they're investing a lot of money into you. So basically, they go back and they try to define who you are, other than being an athlete. And then once they find out that you're a great guy and they feel like you're worth their time, some of them will fly you up, which I flew up to Seattle about 3 weeks ago. Some of them will fly you up. That was a great experience as well. And then some of them will come work you out. And, they came to my pro day, which was March the 4th. Mm-hmm. And, I never played strong safety a day in my life. So that's what making it harder for me to, overcome everything, because leaving high school, I played D-tackle, and then going from D-tackle to linebacker, then only having 1 year linebacker before I went to college, I had to learn, Mm-hmm. So I'm learning a new position, and I had to learn all the things over again, because the D-line is different from, linebacker. And from linebacker, it's going to be way different than strong safety. And going into the league as a strong safety and never played it, that's going to be even more difficult, because they're gonna want you to know this stuff. But that's the only thing that'll probably stop me from going. But as of now, I'm thinking on field 6 or 7. And, you know, I'll probably be going, you know, as a free agent, priority free agent. But either way, that's how it goes. If a team like you and they have a pick in this round and they feel like you're, you know, can help them, they're going to pick you higher. But if they feel like, you know what I'm saying, you can help them like on special teams or something, like the more value you have going into it, the better your chances of being picked. Like right now, you know, playing strong safety, they seen that I could play strong safety in the Pro Bowl, well, not the Pro Bowl, but the Senior Bowl game I played in. You know, I led both teams in tackles, and I had 2 pass deflections. I should have had defensive MVP. And I showed them at my pro day that I was fast and that I was versatile because I worked out with the linebackers and I also worked out with the strong safeties. And, you know, I showed them all that, and they said, you showed us a lot. So, you know, the 2 weeks before the draft, you know, before this weekend, you know, a bunch of them called me and talked to me, and, you know, they asked the same thing, what number I want to be reached on draft day and all that stuff. So, you know, sometimes they're good sign, but they don't really get to pick. It'd be some other people picking, so you don't never know who interest you have. Like this team can say they want you, and then they say they're gonna get you, but they don't end up getting you because another team gets you, and then this team can say they're gonna get you and don't get you because somebody else popped up. So basically, it's like for me, it's nerve-wracking. Well, for any player that wanted to be in the draft, it's nerve-wracking. But for any other player that knows they're going first or second round, you know, just anticipation. You wait. You just waiting to see who you going with. But for me, you know, it's mindless thing. Like you clueless. I don't know what's going on, and you know, people are constantly asking you all day, what's going on, which round you going in, where you gonna be at. You getting flown up there, why you ain't up there? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you don't know how to answer those questions. So that's what makes it nervous and mind-wrecking. But, like, basically the whole thing is you walking in the blind. And, you know, all you get is good luck. And, you know, wish you the best of luck. And that's basically all you know.
So it's up to them, and then they'll
yeah,
call
it's
you.
up to them. And, you know, when they get that, when they call my phone and say such and such pick you and name pop up on TV, then that's when I know.
I guess that's when we'll all know.
Yeah, or if my name don't get called on TV, you know, I know as soon as after the draft over with, my agent say, "Hey, your phone charged, because people gonna be calling you when you're a free agent there." So, no way. Even if I don't get drafted, I know I'm gonna be somewhere else. So, I mean, that's the only thing keeping my nerves, you know, calm. But yeah, that's it right there.
Well, that was my question too. Is that what happens if you don't get drafted? Then you go as a free agent.
Yeah, I go as a free agent, and as a free agent, you get a selection on where you want to go. So, you know, I just hope the best for either situation. I hope that somebody loves me enough to draft me, and you know, even if I don't get drafted, I hope somebody loves me enough to invite me as a free agent.
Well, tell us what happened on Pro Day, because you mentioned Pro Day. You said they came and worked out with you, but what did they do exactly on Pro Day?
Pro Day, they do your height, your weight, you do vertical, you do bench reps, you do broad jump, and you run a 40. You do an L drill, and you also do a shoulder drill. And then after all that, after you done did all that, you go and you do like individual workouts, like with the DBs or the linebacker safeties. If they want to work out a quarterback, they have wide receivers out there that came out for the Pro Day. If they had any D linemen, they want to see how well they move. You know, linebackers, they want to see how well your hips work and how you know, like how much power you have and running and turning, and can you get to the flats and all that. And as a strong safety, can you catch the ball? Can you break on the ball? Can you react to it? Can you flip your hips, turn, run across the field, and make a play on the ball? Can you get to the middle of the field in time enough? Can you get from hash to hash, you know, without taking a false step or without being delayed? Or can you read the ball? Like, it's a bunch of stuff. But, you know, basically that's what it was. It tests you on things. In the 40, I ran a 4.38. In my shuttle, I ran a 4.1. Broad jump, I jumped a 10.5. So that's like standing still, and you jump as far as you can. So I have to jump 10.5 feet for standing still. And my vertical jump was a 37.5. And, you know, I did bench rep 21 times. It's 225, 21 times. And, you know, the L drill is an L drill for, it's for safeties to see how well you can move and get out of turns and breaks. And I did that in the 7.0. Anything 7.0 below is great. So, I tested well, and, that's what got a lot of the attention. And then also playing in that bowl game got a lot of the attention as well, because I made a lot of plays and I was flying around and I was faster than the majority of the guys that was out there. And, everybody was selected because they were talented. So, if you stood out in a talented group, then that shows you have something.
Being a freak of nature helps you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Do you have any encouragement for these local fellas that are watching and aspire to play football in college or professionally? Do you have any words of advice or encouragement for them?
Any kind of encouragement I have for them is, no matter what anybody tell you, no matter who doubts you, or, it can be a family member doubting you, no matter who's in your face all the time telling you things that you can't do. The only time you can get back at them is showing them that, they wrong, and never judge a book by its cover. And another thing I'll say is, I had it on my mind, but it kind of slipped away. But, somebody's always watching you. No matter what you do, you can be doing the simplest thing. You can be giving somebody $1 that need, help getting something to eat. You can be coming across somebody who needs a shirt, and you got $5 on you, but you don't know what you're gonna do with that money. But that could have been somebody that could be your boss one day. You never know, because they trying to live, and how how hard they working. And so, the word is just keep working. No matter if you think somebody watching you or if you're going to get rewarded. If you're doing it because you think you're going to get rewarded, then you're doing it for the wrong reason. Do it for the kindness of your heart. Do it for generosity, Just be the better person and just help people. No matter what you go through, help somebody. And I promise you, somebody's watching. And someday somebody's going to come through and they're going to watch you enough. And they don't watch you to the point where they feel like they can trust you with anything, any situation that they can put you in, and they're going to help you. Because of the fact that even though you felt like you haven't been watched or you haven't been getting rewarded, but you still do it, they know you got a kind heart. And they say if you live your life right, you're going to be treated right. So that's what encourages me.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so tickled to meet you. After seeing you in the paper and on YouTube, I'm so tickled to meet you, and you're so nice. Every bit as nice as everyone has said.
Thank you.